Anglers Extra.
Back at the Anglers Extra pregame show, it is time for the Manager Show. John Schiffner, alongside myself, Brandon Liebhaber. John, a dramatic 4-3 win last night in Hyannis. You were down by 2 with nobody on and 2 out. Got a base hit from John Martinez, a walk from Mike Francoso, and Chad Pinder hits the dramatic home run to the opposite field. Where does that stack up in late-inning heroics that you've seen in your time here?
Pretty good. Anytime you get one that's a game-winning home run or a walk-off home run, and we've had our share over the years, but, it's fun. It's always fun, and that was the fruits of hard work right there, as Chad has really been working hard with Pat McGee, staying inside the baseball, and that's exactly what you're supposed to do. He got his hands inside the ball, got it up a little bit, and off it went. And but again, a lot of credit goes, like you said, to Francoso and Martinez for 2 good at-bats in front of him to get us to that point.
Moving ahead to tonight, playing Brewster, the only team with a new manager in the league. I've seen you talking to John Altobelli, their new head coach from Orange Coast College. You are the longest tenured manager in the league. What knowledge have you imparted to him?
None. John knows what he's doing. We were just talking, and he's asking questions about, what about this? He's new, but John certainly knows plenty about baseball. Being at Orange Coast, he sent a lot of kids to the Cape. He sent a lot of kids to Division I baseball and pro baseball. So John doesn't need to hear anything from me. We were just chatting.
Okay, now last night, a lot of players who I talked to Chad, said that you guys should have beat him by more. It shouldn't have had to come down to that. Do you agree with that assessment?
Well, we didn't execute early on. There's a couple times we had men on base with less than 2 outs, and the infield's back. And you just hit a ground ball short, hit a ground ball a second, we got a run. And that's, RBIs are the most important, I think, the most important statistic in the Cape Cod League. You got to drive them in. Drive them in any way you can. It doesn't matter if you drive one into the gap, hit one over the fence, or you hit a ground ball short. It's got to be done because runs are so precious here. We were, as you saw, we're down 3-1. We should have been up 3-1 or up 3-0 instead of 1-0 most of that game, which would have put a whole different situation together for the pitching staff. You pitch differently when you're up 3-0 versus up 1-0. So, the hitters, they get it, but some of them need to see that the pitching they're seeing day in and day out is really, really good, and that a hard ground ball to shortstop is an accomplished at-bat. It's a quality at-bat instead of, it'd be great to drive one in the gap, but take the runs. Take the runs now, worry about it later.
How do you and, Coach Pat have to change these guys' approach? A lot of guys at school probably take a different approach with the metal bats than here. You're playing with wood bats. You're playing against great pitching. How do you get them to accept that ground ball to short when there's a runner on third being a good at-bat?
Well, then, if it doesn't happen enough, they won't be playing. They'll be sitting down hanging out with the rest of the guys, So, that's part of it. It's performance-based. And if you're not driving in runs, we can't use you. And especially when you're given an opportunity, that's a silver platter. It's different when you drive a run in and the infield's back. Two out at bat, 2 out RBI, those are awesome. But when the infield's back and they're giving you, the infield is saying, here, take a run. The other team's saying, take a run, and you don't take it. You strike out, you pop up, or, you don't do it. That's not good baseball. And, obviously we're trying to convince them that that's the best way to do it. Just to make it out, because it also sits in the mind of the scouts. The scouts see your swing and batting practice. Now the scouts want to see how you perform in the game. And there's 4 at-bats, 5 at-bats. And if you completely botch those at-bats by not getting anything productive, productivity is the key. It doesn't necessarily have to be a base hit. They want to see a productive at-bat, and they want to see what you do in that situation. And that's what we try to tell them, is that the scouts are watching, and that's an important at-bat.
Now, last night you guys got to start 7 left-handed batters against the right-handed pitcher, but tonight you see another lefty. Is that kind of the risk you run, having so many guys bat from the left side of the plate on your team?
We're pretty well distributed, I think. Tonight we're just going to we're going to throw a little bit of everything at them with the lineup we're playing tonight. The lefties need to hit lefties, and the righties need to hit righties, and vice versa. So we're just trying to find combinations, trying to give everybody opportunities to play. The fact that they're throwing a lefty, the only thing we did do is make sure we put a right-handed guy in a DH slot, but even that's not automatic. But we're not platooning at this stage of the season, and I don't know if we'll ever get to that point. I think what we'll do is, as the season progresses, we'll see how successful guys are against righties and against lefties, and then maybe we'll make pinch hitting opportunities earlier in the game instead of later. But right now, let's see what these guys can do.
Thank you. Good luck tonight, Chip.
Thank you very much.
Back to you, Chris, on the Anglers Extra pregame show.